What has this got to do with my series of videos which I'm preparing, and this is video number 2, relating to Joe McCarthy? I've been accused of being a McCarthyite, okay? That's the how this ties in. Amsterdam accuses me of being a McCarthyite, implication being that I falsely accuse innocent people of nefarious activities of which they're innocent, in order to smear innocent people, such as Hamster Dan, who teaches your kids in the ways of socialism, communism, all day, and you get your taxes or pay his salary. Amsterdam, who made references to me about masturbating. Amsterdam, who calls me, no, I'm not offended, because he's really, discrediting himself when he does all this. A school teacher. I guess he's proud of his radicalism. And I really don't need to make efforts to discredit him. He discredits himself. But he claims to be, if I'm not mistaken, forgive me if I'm mistaken, because I'm trying to be accurate. He claims to be a supporter, believer, fan of Leon Trotsky. You'll recall that Leon Trotsky and Vladimir Lenin basically created the Soviet Union back in 1917. When the people overthrew the Tsar, Trotsky helped Lenin take over the new government. Lenin fell ill. I think it was a brain hemorrhage. Lenin died, and Joseph Stalin took over, kicked Trotsky out. Trotsky had to resume his career as a refugee, a fugitive, a hunted man, roaming from place to place. What's this got to do with Browder? One of the people that Joe McCarthy investigated was Earl Browder. Browder is alleged to have been involved in constructing an underground branch of the Communist Party USA, CPUSA, which they called the secret apparatus, and this branch was intended to assist the Soviet Union in maintaining control of the CPUSA, as well as to recruit potential espionage agents for the Soviet Union. McCarthy, who is pictured as a fraud, a charlatan, an opportunist, and a persecutor of the innocent, among others, investigated Earl Browder. Earl Browder is alleged to have been involved in constructing an underground branch of the CPUSA, which was intended to assist the Soviet Union in maintaining control of the CPUSA covertly, as well as to recruit spies for the USSR. You claim Amsterdam Dan, Amsterdam 78, I don't know, I can't remember your name, I'm sorry. The school teacher in Florida. Give me a second, I'll remember the name of the county. Probably the same county where Rex Limbaugh lives. Palm Beach, West Palm Beach. That area. So I got a lot of things floating through my mind, and I'm a little bit dingy. What's this got to do with Browder, Earl Browder, investigated by Joe McCarthy? Let me tell you about Earl Browder. He's alleged to have been involved in constructing an underground branch of the CPUSA so that the Soviet Union could control you guys in the United States. That's Earl Browder. You may not have heard of the Venona Papers. The U.S. government had code breakers that were partially successful in intercepting and breaking messages sent by so-called diplomats back in this era of the Red Scare. Venona Papers. If you want to find out more about it, more than what I know at this point, you can Google it. In 1938, Rudy Baker, Venona codename Son, S-O-N, was appointed to head this underground apparatus used by the Soviet Union to control the communists in the United States. And this was done after the defection of Whittaker Chambers. Apparently Whittaker Chambers was a communist who defected and divulged secrets to people like Joe McCarthy, and Whittaker Chambers even backed it up with proof, and I believe exposed Alger Hiss, spelled H-I-S-S. After Whittaker Chambers did this, Browder requested that Rudy Baker be appointed to the head of this underground apparatus. Now eventually Browder will be kicked out of the Communist Party, whatever name it is. They keep changing their names, they keep splitting, they keep merging, and so it's hard to keep track of, but generically the communists in the United States had a problem with Browder. In 1938, Rudy Baker, codename Son, was appointed head of this underground apparatus controlled by the Soviet Union. According to a self-confessed NKVD recruiter named Louis Budenz, B-U-D-E-N-Z, he and Browder participated in discussions with Soviet intelligence officials to plan the assassination of Leon Trotsky. I'm going to say that again. According to a self-confessed NKVD recruiter, NKVD is one of the older names of the KGB. At one time they were called NKVD. It's basically the secret police, the intelligence, counterintelligence, foreign intelligence arm of the Soviet Union. A recruiter for the NKVD, KGB, named Louis Budenz, says that he and Browder participated in discussions with Soviet intelligence officials to plan the assassination of your hero, Amsterdam, Leon Trotsky. Trotsky was living in Mexico because some Mexican official was a communist and gave Trotsky safe haven in Mexico. I believe that somebody took a job posing as a gardener, got into Trotsky's house and hacked Trotsky to death with an axe or something along those lines. We're talking about Earl Browder. Earl Browder is believed to have helped plan this axe murder of Leon Trotsky in Mexico. Earl Browder helped the Soviet Union keep control of, secretly, the CPUSA. The CPUSA was secretly controlled by Moscow. Moscow, which ex-murdered your hero, Leon Trotsky. You want to accuse me of McCarthyism. You want to say McCarthy was just an opportunist, a fraud, a hoaxer, that there were no communists. He was simply trying to make a name for himself through sensationalism. He investigated Browder, but people in Washington, the powers that be, refused to convict Browder of anything. They let him off scot-free the same way they did Bill Ayers and Bernadine Dorn. There's a pattern here. The communists get let off scot-free. Those who point the finger at communists are smeared. This goes on. This has been going on. It goes on to this day.